Yes, I. Wagwan people. I mean, I nearly forgot what I was going to say there. But yes, Wagwan people. What you're saying, it is I, Diligent Fingers. Hope everybody is blessed. And that I'm not going to say what day it is because I've realised that I'm not actually going to be putting out these videos as and when I do them and stuff. Still trying to figure out how to distribute these on the main YouTube channel. Plus, I've done videos for my Viewpoint podcast channel and that as well and shit. So, trying to just organise both of them along with everything else that I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Or at least trying to do and shit. So, yeah, man. But if you do watch these videos and you appreciate, what I'm saying and anything that I say helps in any kind of way. Do you know what I mean? I appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos and, you know, like and share and all that kind of good stuff. And that, man, seriously, it's appreciated. Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times you don't think that you're actually doing something. Do you know what I mean? That special. You get me? So yeah, man. But yeah, you know, thought I'd do a video on the mental health side of being a musician and trying to get through this cutthroat sort of industry. And it can be quite cutthroat, do you know what I'm saying? It can be quite a lot on your mental health because it's a competitive industry in some senses, in some aspects it's a very competitive industry. Everyone's trying to make it to their level of success, do you know what I mean, what they want their version of success to be. A lot of times there can be this feeling that there's only one space for one type of artist or a couple of types of artists, especially if you're a woman. For some reason in the industry, it's there could only be one woman that's on the top. Yeah, there can be, 15, 20 men that are doing well at that. It's not the reality, but it's definitely the feeling sometimes, and sometimes it's definitely how people can go on and shit. Do you know what I mean? But if there is anything that I'm here to say, and whether it rings true for you or not, or there's different versions of this for yourself, you are the one who can dictate and has to dictate what your path is, what your level of success is. Do you know what I mean? What you're comfortable with. Do you know what I'm saying? As I said in the previous video, a lot of people use the examples of people that are at the very, very top. You know what I'm saying? I suppose in terms of examples of being successful, they are always going to be the ones that are being used. Like the millionaires, the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, the Taylor Swifts and stuff, And that seems to be the bar that's set for everybody. But there's a lot that you need to do and you need to accept. And in some cases, there's a lot that you need to give up and sacrifice to be able to get to those kind of stages, But you don't have to do that if that's not necessarily the point that you want to be at, I'll tell you from now. For me, fame scares me. Fame gives me so much anxiety because ultimately I feel like I lose a lot of the aspects of myself due to how fanatical people can be within their support. And sometimes, maybe even a lot of the times, how entitled people can be in regards to their support. Do you know what I'm saying? The higher you get, the more, fans and supporters feel they are responsible for you getting to where you get to. And it's almost as if the hard work that you've put in to get yourself there, through the support of the fans, the supporters, it's almost as if that sort of disappears in shit from what I've seen, you know? The amount of abuse that I've seen that some artists get and that because they've been human and they've done something that ultimately their fans don't like or did not expect from them and stuff. The amount of times I've seen supporters turn around and say, oh, they only want you to do one thing, and why are you trying something new? Why are you trying something different? This is not what we came to you for. Do you know what I'm saying? The amount of times I've seen artists say that they feel like they can't really evolve or experiment for fear of losing income, for fear of losing fans, losing support, and shit like that, So those kind of things scare me because as an artist, the very thing that I love about making music, it seems like the bigger you get, the more that kind of gets taken away and shit, And I don't want that taken away. And I want that to be a core of what I do. You know what I'm saying? The other side of it is, the more people that are involved in what you do, the less control you have over what you do and what you can do. The less you feel like you are self when you're putting stuff out to the world. Again, this is something that I've seen a lot of big artists talk about in terms of not being able to release music, being beholden to major label schedules and, what they think is the right time and this, that and the third. Regardless of how much effort you've put into nurturing and cultivating your audience and understanding your audience, because it's you that's putting yourself out there to the people, Excuse me. It's a mad world being in the music industry, and it can really take its toll on you, especially when you feel like you can't have a day off, you can't have sick days, you can't have holidays or anything like that because you don't want to lose momentum, you don't want to run out of steam and this, that and the third. And so many times we burn out because we're trying so hard to keep up with this and stay afloat with that, and we oftentimes neglect our own health, our own mental health, and then the very things we were scared of happening end up happening anyway. You know what I mean? Because we just don't give ourselves that time to look after ourselves properly. That's something that I try my hardest not to do. Yeah, I will beat myself up and be like, oh, I've lost a day. Like, those 2 hours, I could have done this, I could have done that, and this, that, and the third. And in a sense, I'm probably not doing my own mental health any favors by thinking that way. But if my mind and my body is saying, take a rest, then I take that rest, man. I take that rest. I go to therapy. I take my meds that I need to take. Do you know what I mean? And there's no shame in admitting that. Do you know what I mean? And adhering to that, as long as you know yourself what these meds are for and they are actually helping and shit. I take the breaks. Like this month, when it's come to my Forward Motion podcast, and we're in the month of April at the moment, that the consistency has not been that great. It's been due to good things like being busy and, keeping up with projects and this, that and the third, but ultimately it's not been that great, and it gets to me sometimes that I try and, well, not preach, but I try and give the good advice of trying to stay as consistent as you possibly can, But sometimes it just doesn't go that way, you know? Sometimes it's just not like that, you know what I mean? And sometimes you just have to accept that. Take that day, take that couple of hours, take that week if needs be, take that month if needs be, and get yourself back to 100%. You know, running at 75, running at 50% can be good. Do you know what I'm saying? But when you start to get drained, you can't expect yourself to be doing the best that you can when you're only at 25%, 10%. You need to look after yourself. You need to recharge. Do you know what I'm saying? You need to get yourself back on top, whatever that is, you know? That's why I'm doing these videos whilst I'm doing my walks. Do you know what I mean? 3-4 laps around the park. Do you know what I'm saying? Get my steps in and stuff, get my stamina up and all that kind of stuff, because at my age, at 43 years old, I can't be expecting to be running about the same way I was when I was younger and things like that. But oftentimes that's what we try and do, you know. We don't take stock of the fact that we are getting older. Maybe we haven't looked after ourselves the best way that we could when we get to points like this, you know. And now more than ever, is when we need to and stuff. But we worry about the things that are insignificant to what's going to actually keep us going as humans. Do you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily, not our careers, but as humans. We need to take time for ourselves for things like that, you know. The other side of being an artist and in this music industry is dealing with disappointment, dealing with betrayal, trying to adapt to when things go wrong and people don't keep their promises. Do you know what I'm saying? People say they're going to do one thing and then they do something else. People snake you. Do you know what I mean? Trust is a very, very hard thing to come by when it comes to this music industry. And it's really unfortunate that it's like that. But it is. Do you know what I mean? The amount of times that I have been snaked, you know, I've been betrayed within this industry, there's been too many times that I would like to count and like to admit. Do you know what I mean? And it won't be down to you not doing everything right or you even doing anything wrong. People just have their own self-interest and they're going to move according to their own self-interest. A lot of the times in this industry, it's more about what you can do for others rather than, you know, you being talented and getting what you deserve because of that talent. It's been said time and time again, talent is probably the last thing that's important when it comes to this music industry. Hard work beats talent, and unfortunately I can agree with that 110%, even though that shouldn't be the case. But hard work beats talent each and every time. I know so many talented people, so many talented singers, producers, DJs, being artists, graffiti artists, illustrators, graphic designers, video editors, so many. There is so much talent within Manchester alone, where I'm from. But a lot of the times, some of them just don't want to put in the work to be able to get themselves out there. And they'll come up with excuses like they don't like social media, they don't like the fact that they have to do all this other work outside of the work that they are doing as artists. But that's the name of the game, and it always has been the name of the game. Do you know what I mean? People want to blame social media for this type of thing just because back in the day, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we didn't have these things or these things weren't that important. But things don't stay the same. Things evolve. You know what I'm saying? That's how innovation comes about. People find things that weren't there before, do you know what I mean, and build off them. People find niches, you know? People find solutions to problems that other people have not found, and they build on them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people just don't want to evolve and adapt to these kind of things. So they end up holding themselves back. You know what I mean? And that can take its toll. That can most definitely take its toll on your mental health, you know? Because you start to grow resentful, you start to feel like you're not getting what you deserve. And then the more people that say to you, oh, you deserve this, you deserve that, you're so talented. Why are you not here? Why are you not up there? That ends up taking its toll on you as well, because sooner or later you're going to think to yourself, yeah, why aren't I? And then you're going to start trying to find reasons, do you know what I mean, to justify why you're not there. Or not even justify it, to explain why you are not in the same places that other people are at. That can breed resentment, that can breed jealousy. And those things are not good in regards to having a long-lasting career and stuff. So, you know, and that, like, so, yeah, man, you have to really think about how much these things can take its toll on you. And, you know, sorry, these kids at the school next to me, and try to, like, put me in the video, put me in the video. It's not that type of video, my G's, but it's all good. Oh man, plus I ain't that keen on putting other people's kids in videos when, you know, their parents haven't asked for it and stuff like that, man. The internet is a weird place. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that can end up taking their toll on your mental health, how you see things, how you feel about things, your outlook, how you end up feeling about yourself. Because the other side of these things is these can breed feelings of failure within yourself when you feel like you've not got to where you want to be, where you feel like you should be, where other people feel like you should be. That's the worst one. And there's points in time where I want to say to people, stop telling me where you think I should be. I appreciate, do not get me wrong, I appreciate the support. I appreciate that you feel like that. But saying to me, why are you not on this booking? Why are you not at this stage? Why are you this, that, and the third? Do you know what I mean? As if I really have control over those kind of things. It doesn't really help. It doesn't help. It doesn't do what you think it does. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate that you feel that way. You feel I should be up there. Do you know what I'm saying? And if anything, the only thing I can say is, you know, to people that say things like that to their favourite artists and this, that, and the third, the best thing you can do to help out with things like that is to go to your promoters. Go to the promoters, shout, scream, yo, this person should be here, this person should be on this lineup. I would love to see this person, you know? I'd love to see this artist on your lineup. And the more people that do that, do you know what I mean? And actually stick to that when it comes to buying the tickets, you actually buy the tickets, do you know what I mean, to support your favourite artist, the more promoters are going to pay attention to things like that, you know? Because we are to a point beholden to the support that you give us. You know what I'm saying? I say this each and every single time. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the support of my fans, my supporters, you know? And that doesn't mean that you guys get to dictate anything about what I do or anything like that. That just means that I appreciate wholeheartedly the support that I have gotten to get me, to help get me where I am. Oh. That was a bit mad. To help get me where I am. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know? So yeah, man. What are the solutions? What are the solutions for things like this? First off is being real and honest with yourself and having that true confidence in yourself to know that you are going to put the work in to get yourself in the rooms that you want to be in, to get yourself on the lineups that you want to be on, to put yourself in the positions that you want to put yourself in. Do you know what I mean? That are going to help build that level of success that you are trying to get to. Having a clean heart, having a clean mind and a clean conscience, you know, that's what's definitely going to help with, you know what I'm saying, your mental health and keeping you on a level. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you know you're fucking people over and shit, that's going to come back to haunt you at times. That's also going to cause people to spread word of mouth. Do you know what I'm saying? And having a bad reputation, do you know what I mean, can do so much damage within the scene because people talk. People most definitely talk. Do you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you can't speak your truth. If you've been fucked over, do you know what I mean, and you want to tell people about your situation so they don't end up getting fucked over themselves, there's nothing wrong with that. But people do talk. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you are doing it in a way that is disrespectful, and I'm speaking from experience here, even though I feel like I wasn't that disrespectful, it's not up to me how people take disrespect and what they deem as disrespect at the end of the day. But if you do things in a disrespectful way, that's going to travel. People talk at the end of the day. People do talk. So being able to have as good of a reputation as possible, you know, being honest, sticking to what you say you're going to do, that's going to help. That's going to definitely help in terms of your career, as well as, you know, your mental health and how you feel about yourself, how you carry yourself as a result. Do you know what I'm saying? That, like, the other side of it is definitely taking that time to look after yourself. Please, please do. If you feel like you're going to burn out, take that day for yourself so you don't. Exercise. Do you know what I mean? Try and be healthy. Try and eat healthy. Do you know what I'm saying? Drink lots of water. Says the person who's come out on a walk on a really hot sunny day without the bottle of water. But drink lots of water. Do you know what I mean? Do all the things, the best things you can do to look after yourself as you possibly can. Because it's important. You only have one life. You only have one body. Do you know what I mean? You only have one back. You know what I'm saying? You only have one mind. Do you know what I'm saying? And once those things go, they're gone, bro. They're gone, sis. And it's going to take so much to be able to repair those things. Do you know what I'm saying? And that. But the biggest thing will always be true and be honest with yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows what you're going through. Nobody knows what you're dealing with. Only you know that. And only you know the best ways to be able to get yourself out of these situations and out of these positions that you don't want to be in. So and the only way you're going to really get yourself out of those things is being true, being honest, and being realistic with yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be putting yourself in debt, do you know what I mean, just for an opportunity that you have no idea whether you're going to be able to get yourself out of. Do you know what I mean? It's all about taking risks in music, but take calculated risks. Do you know what I mean? Take risks that are within your means. Don't do things that you know you can't get yourself back from. Do you know what I mean? Because that will end up doing a whole lot more damage than good. You know? You gotta be real with yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself, man. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. And you're gonna finish before you've even truly started. Before you've even truly got yourself anywhere. You know? I'll sit down for a second. So yeah, man. There's been extreme things that have happened as a result of poor mental health when it comes to music. You know, as a person who deals with severe depression, PTSD, do you know what I mean? I get bad anxiety about things, do you know what I'm saying? Later in life, do you know what I mean, diagnosed with ADHD, do you know what I'm saying? Like, looking after your mental health within this thing is important, man. It really, really is. It really is. I'm surprised that I've been able to get as far as I've gotten with the fucked up things that are in my head, with all the mental health issues that I deal with. I'm not trying to make myself out to be, you know, the most broken of the broken and stuff like that. I don't even think it's a good idea to even see yourself like that. These are just things that I have to live with, and I've learnt to live with and manage. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that I do a great job all the time managing these things, but I'm definitely getting better. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely getting better. But it does come from, going through situations. It does come from experience. Do you know what I mean? A lot of experiences I wish I didn't have to deal with, do you know what I mean, or go through. But those same experiences have made me into the person that I am, and, you know, hopefully have made me a stronger person, because I've been through some badness, and as a result I know what that badness is, and I know how to handle and deal with these badnesses if they come up again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's a hard road to walk down. Do you know what I mean? But once you put the work in, and once you get to the point that you want to get to, it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying, man. I truly believe that we can all get to that point. The biggest battles that we always have to fight are the ones with ourselves. The biggest battles that we all have to fight are first the ones within ourselves. And once we've won those battles, we are most definitely equipped to be able to win the war. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. With that, I'm going to end the video here. I hope this made sense. I hope this helped people. Do you know what I mean? With that, and if it did, please give the video a like. Might as well do the whole YouTube thing, social media thing, but please give the video a like. If you watch it on YouTube, please subscribe. As a result, do you know what I mean? And stick around for other videos like this and shit, because this is a musical channel and I want to provide a lot of things to do with music. But outside of that, thank you for watching and listening. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, take care of your mental health, because you don't know, good mental health is wealth. Forward ever, backward never. And as always, blessings to you.